which was historically on MTV, is now a Paramount Plus original. At least season 42 is. But what I'm watching here is season 41. I recently made a video talking about reality TV, and on that video, I think I lied. I said I'd seen every season of the challenge that's available, but I realized I had never finished season 41, so because of that, I started watching it and I finished it this same day. I also realized that I've never showed my living room on my channel before. So this is my living room. A few things about my living room that I love is the quilt that you see on the chaise lounge. And of course, my turtle. I don't know how much you'll be able to see him, but if you look really close, he's in there moving around. So that's my turtle over there on the left. On the top left, his name is Bill. I have made a video talking a little bit about him before, but he's a musk turtle. Musk turtles are mainly from the southeast of the USA. And this is kind of gross, but they're known for letting off a really gross smell when they get scared. So when Bill was really young, he still had all of his scent glands, and whenever we would clean his cage, he would be so afraid. It would smell terrible. And then back to the quilt. That quilt is from my grandma on my dad's side. She has been quilting her whole life, and finally I got her to give me one, and it's one of my prized possessions. I love it so much. Now we are getting to business. I needed to order groceries, so this is me making our grocery list for the week. I'm also writing down our meal plan. I like to break it up by meal and by day, so Saturday, breakfast, lunch, dinner, BLD, and Sunday, the same thing. Saturday breakfast, we ate at home. For lunch, my husband was golfing, so he got us food from the mall because where he golfs is by the mall, and we had some hibachi. nice though about the fact that we prep all the time is that a lot of things we already have in the house. Oils and spices, etc. We typically have tons of, so we're always okay there. But something like, for example, maple syrup, which is what the sauce for the vegetables called for, that's not something I have laying around. We rarely use maple syrup. I'm not a huge waffle or pancake girl, so I also like to break up my list between order and in store. So typically we'll order anything that is needed for our meal prep, and then we'll go in store for certain fruits and vegetables. So with our dinner prep, for example, we always eat salad. So I know every week, on top of the ordering, we'll go in person to buy romaine lettuce, green bell peppers, Campari tomatoes, cucumbers, and select fruits to eat during the week. And here, again, you can see I'm a big Walmart person. We've used Walmart Plus to order our groceries for many, many, many years, probably 5 or so. And what's absolutely crazy is that this specific week, these groceries that you're watching me order right now, at the end of this clip, you'll see me choose a time window of delivery from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Typically, from experience and history, right? I'll receive those groceries towards the beginning of the time window. But on this day, it was so delayed that we weren't able to make the braised Asian chicken thighs that we wanted to make. So we ended up getting our groceries around, I don't know, 7:30 p.m., which is way too late because the braised chicken thighs are in the, gosh, what is it called? I don't know. They're in a pot on the stove for like hours, so we weren't able to make that meal yesterday night. I'm doing the voiceover on Sunday. So we ended up going out to pizza instead, and then we ate that for lunch today, which was perfect since my Sunday lunch had a big question mark when I originally planned it. You can see here I'm doing like a final check through my groceries before I select my delivery time. So now I've changed my outfit into house clothes, more house clothes, and I'm going to tidy the house a bit. In all honesty, it had been probably 2 months or more since we've cleaned our house. During traditional busy just this table was just covered in crumbs, I'm embarrassed to say. But I had the time, so I decided it was about dang time to clean the house. This here is my dining room. I believe you've seen this before. I think I filmed at least one video here, if not a few. The art on the left top side is actually something my sibling made me a long time ago that I framed and keep up, and I really love that piece. I look at it every time I sit at my dining table. I'm also wearing like a house shoe slipper type thing here. I don't know if it's just me, but I cannot clean the floors and not wear some type of protective shoe. I feel like I just get random junk all over my feet while I clean, and it drives me up a wall. What I'm using here is a Dyson, a cordless Dyson, which was a wedding gift from my mom's boyfriend. Really nice of him to get us that. I really love it because of its ease. It's so easy to move around and to just grab really fast. Where it sits on that shelving system there, it's plugged in, so it's always fully charged and ready for me. But it is a little bit less strong than other vacuums I've used before. So like when we clean, my husband typically prefers our other vacuum, which I believe is a Shark. Here is my kitchen. It's nothing fancy, but it does the trick for us. Our old apartment had the tiniest galley kitchen scent. There's a different scent for each place in your house. So the one for the kitchen is lemon, and the one for the bathroom is, I want to say, like mint or something. But yeah, I really like it, and it makes me feel better that we're not using such harsh chemicals around our house, especially where we eat. You can also see that on some counters I move everything and some I do not. So the counter way off to the left that got cut off is where the coffee maker was, where we made our oatmeal this morning. There was no way. There was no way I was gonna move everything. There's too many things right there, so I just kind of cleaned around it. But to be honest, we pretty much never use that counter other than when we're mixing coffee or something, so other than a few coffee stains here and there, they're not really crumbs or anything over there. Here I'm cleaning the secondary ledge, which I never, ever, ever clean. We've lived here for, I don't know, a little over a year, probably like a year and a half, and this is the first time I've like actually cleaned everything off the ledge and then cleaned the ledge, but we really don't use it, just set random things up there. It's not like it gets like food residue on it or anything. I often think maybe I should make like a chore schedule. So like maybe if my husband and I cleaned one area of the house each week, maybe our house would stay cleaner. But we just can't commit. I really wish I could be better about cleaning, but our jobs are so busy, our life is so busy, it's like hard to prioritize keeping our apartment perfectly clean. That's why when I do clean, I clean everything. So here, we're cleaning the inside of the microwave. And I have to be honest, I was expecting this microwave to be disgusting, and it was not at all. I was truly shocked. However, next we'll be cleaning the stovetop, and this was pretty bad. It's hard to keep a glass stovetop clean though. You'll notice here that I have now switched gloves. That is because between takes I wanted to check my texts, and I could not for the life of me get the glove back on my hand. So stuff religiously on her stovetop. And my mom is one. My husband's mom is actually the same way. They clean their stovetop after every single use, which is like beyond impressive. One of the final tasks in the kitchen when we clean is to vacuum the floor, because we've been pushing all sorts of crumbs from the microwave, stovetop, countertops onto the floor. You'll notice that the lights are a little dimmer here. That is because I turned them off. I like to use this Dyson head green light situation, which is easier to use when it's dark. It lights up all of the gunk on the floor, and this is actually why I know that the Dyson doesn't pick everything up, because the green is very obvious that there are things left over that it just will not pick up. The Dyson also is nice because it comes all the way out, so anything stuck in the canister is easily taken out. Last but not least, we're gonna do some dishes. I don't want to fool you. This is not a weekly routine for me in any capacity, all this cleaning. Like I said, this was so needed. It had been a few months since we'd cleaned our house. Or our house has been cleaned, excuse me. But I do hope that if you need to clean, maybe you can put this on and we can clean together. Or if you need to make a grocery list or order your groceries, find your recipes. We don't have to be alone while doing this stuff. We can do it together. If you need motivation, if you need a friend so it's not so lonely. It's always really nice to clean this stuff that stays in the microwave. This is a little cover for the food in the microwave. That probably gets cleaned maybe once a year. Which just sounds so bad, but I'm not in the business of lying to you. And here I'm doing the terribly hard task of cleaning a bunch of different water bottles. And you can see too, I'm wearing another set of gloves. This set of gloves is specifically for doing dishes. I do not ever do dishes without gloves because my hands get so dry and angry when I do. So, even when I go to my mom's house or my in-laws' house, I always bring a pair of gloves with me. Because I know I'm going to be helpful, I'm going to be doing the dishes, but I will not be touching the dishes. Here you can see I'm not really cleaning the outside of that bottle, and that's because I use that bottle for maybe a day or two, and it didn't go anywhere but inside my house. I wonder if you think that's gross or if it's okay. I don't know. And then this guy is my Owala. I recently got an Owala. I have not showed it on the video yet, but I have to be honest, I was not an Owala believer for a very, very long time. just got annoyed with my Stanley. I didn't like that I couldn't put it in my backpack, like on the side, and not trust that it wouldn't spill everywhere. So I bought this Awala when it was on sale, and it is probably one of the best purchases I've made in a long time. I'm very, very happy with it. Also, if you need to clean your water bottle, please let this be your sign. I remember a while ago, earlier this year, probably during busy season, I hadn't cleaned my water bottle for a while, and TMI, but it was really, like, my straw was very moldy. I don't know how long I had been taking that into my body, which is just disgusting. I was so grossed out. That's also